Week 1 out the gate. Derek, I'm going to start with you on this one. Who wins this game? Why? And what is your score prediction?
I think ultimately Jacksonville will end up winning this game. It's at home, and you always starting out the season at home. There's always a good energy there. And Carolina, for everything they're trying to build right now, they are still very much a one-dimensional team right at this moment. With Chuba Hubbard. And, I think Jacksonville can keep them from, going too crazy with Hubbard. And, when it comes to that, we haven't seen Carolina open the game up yet with Bryce Young. Will he turn into that this year? We won't know until we start seeing it. But in my opinion, Jacksonville has 2 or 3 of the best players on the field at any given time in this matchup. So I will give Jacksonville the win in this matchup. I'll go with a score of, let's say, 24-14 Jacksonville in this one.
All right, giving the division foe a win right out the gate. I do like it. Harley, who are you taking this one? Jags, Panthers, why, and what's the score?
I'm going to roll with the Jaguars here. The Panthers, we had a joint practice with them a few weeks ago with the Houston Texans. I thought they looked impressive. I think there's a lot of positive with them moving forward with the Panthers. And I think this could be a game where maybe they look pretty good for their fan base to be like, oh, there's something positive to move forward with them. But ultimately, I just think the Jaguars are a better football team than them currently. They have a pretty strong defensive line as well. Some dude named Josh Allen Hines is there. I mean, he should be pretty badass for y'all. So, I'm going to take the Jaguars over the Panthers pretty easily there.
What was the score?
23-17. There we go.
23-17. All right, Rossi, we got 2 division foes picking the Jaguars to go ahead and win this game. Are you going to do the same, or are you going to take the Fighting Bryce Youngs?
I'm going to say, Panthers 50-0. No, I'm totally joking. Dude, I Bryce Young is awful in my opinion. Maybe he'll get better this year. I don't know. But I think the Jaguars should definitely win this ball game. I mean, the Jaguars, they have a pretty decent roster. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence can have a good year and stay healthy, they could be an all right team. They could be a decent team.
Okay. What score do you have?
I'm going to say the Jaguars 28, the Panthers 13.
28-13. Wow. Okay.
I was being gracious.
Jeez. All right. Yeah, he's excited about them Jags.
Like that,
all right.
Dalton?
Nobody's more excited about the Jags than Dalton. You got to give me the keys to this game. Go in depth for me. Who's going to win? Why are they going to win? What's the score going to be? And then I'll probably have some follow-up questions for you, sir.
Yeah, this one makes me nervous just for a couple of reasons. Like, one, it's because we're the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are just kind of exist, I think, to hurt my soul. So there's that one. But also from the perspective of, like, if we somehow lose this game, look at the schedule ahead of us, right? Week 2, we're going to Cincinnati against the Bengals, then at home against the Texans, then and San Francisco against the 49ers, and we're going to end that skit at home Monday Night Football against the Chiefs. So the Jaguars will not be favored in the 4 out of the last 5 games, no matter really what happens, I think. But regardless, the Jaguars are just a better team. I mean, definitely on paper, we're the better team. I think it's a better quarterback. I think they have, even though the Jaguars defense wasn't very good last year, the Panthers defense was awful, right? Like, most points allowed per game and most yards allowed per game was the Carolina Panthers defense. And I think the Jaguars offense will come out kind of flying. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. pairing him up with Travis Hunter, whoever the running back is, I think we'll be able to kind of take care of business against them. And from that standpoint, they've done some stuff. They've invested in both their offensive line throughout free agency. Added like the guard. I think Robert Hunt is his name, over from the Miami Dolphins. They've added really to the interior in free agency, and in a draft added to the receiver core, right? Xavier Legette and Ted McMillan in back-to-back years, kind of given that wide receiver spot. And then also, like, Bryce Young definitely did better at the tail end of the 2024 season. But in totality, he hasn't had really a great NFL career. I know, the last time Jaguars played Bryce Young, they beat him 31-0. So wasn't great, I guess, from their standpoint. But yeah, I am going to have the Jaguars winning, just from the standpoint of, I think the Jaguars are just a better team, right? And I know week 1 is weird. There's going to be a lot of weird games with, like, last year the Patriots beat the Bengals in week 1, right? Really weird things happen in week 1. But I'm going to have the Jaguars winning their home opener. I think it'll be by a pretty decent margin. I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of like 28-17. I think the Jaguars are going to put up some points.
All right. What is the matchup you're least confident in?
They've invested in wide receivers, so maybe like if Tyson Campbell is playing against Ted McMillan, I mean that's a first round pick. But I'll tell you what, I mean, when I look at the Panthers, nothing really scares me. I mean, no disrespect to them, but I'm not like freaking out about Bryce Young just because he had some nice throws at the end of last year. I mean, he was benched at some point last year. So I'm most afraid of the matchup of the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, I think, the Jaguar starting offense is played in 3 drives, and we've stopped ourselves in 2 of those drives, right? Getting way over penalized in one drive. And then another drive, we're like in the red zone and we trip and fall and fumble over ourselves. This is an unforced error. And that's kind of been the Jaguars, especially this last year. So it's like, I know it's a new coaching staff. I know it's a new year, but are we done beating ourselves and getting in our own way? We'll just have to see.
Titans at Broncos. Derek, we'll start with you, brother. Who wins this one? Why? And what's your score prediction?
Yeah, of course, general consensus is right that the Titans should easily get destroyed by the Denver Broncos because, the Denver Broncos have a better coach. They have the quarterback that, however you feel about Bo Nix established himself last year. He looked really good. And, they have one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. And, they just overall look like a really solid team right now. And we don't know anything about the Tennessee Titans. But I don't think that Denver has the offensive firepower yet and that has gelled enough to say that they will beat Tennessee by 30. I don't think that that's how that'll work. And, the fact that it is the first start ever for Cam Ward in the NFL, this team's not really going to have any film on him. So how are they going to game plan around him other than just try to adapt? I do believe that the Denver Broncos will win this game. They are at home and they are the better team. I do believe it'll be closer than what some people realize. I will go ahead and give the Denver Broncos the win. Let's say it's 31-17.
Okay. 31-17. I like it. Dalton, who wins this game between the Broncos and the Titans?
We always say like week 1, there's always that weird game, right? Where like a team wins that you have no expectation that team is going to win. I really think with this game, that is absolutely not going to happen. The Titans are going to get their asses whooped. I just don't think that. I think the Broncos are really good, and I don't think the Titans are good right now. I do think the Titans will start off bad, but I think they're going to show improvement toward the end of the year. But I don't think that they're in any position to beat the Broncos right now. I think the Broncos are like. I think they're knocking on the door of like that first tier of teams with the Ravens, with the Bills, and with the Chiefs this year. Like I think they're going to try to enter that tier. I think they're going to have a really good year. I think that they beat the Titans. I think it's going to be like we'll say 27-8 because the Titans are going to be weird. They're going to like try to go for 2 and make it, and it's like okay, well, how cool is that?
All right, Harley, who do you think wins this one? Why? And what's your score prediction?
Broncos. I mean, it's not much of a conversation to be had. You talk about a rookie quarterback going up against Vance Joseph and the defense coordinator there. I mean, I'm just going to run with the Broncos here. Bo Nix, Sean Payton going up against the Titans defense. Pretty admirable secondary, I'll give you that. But 27-17, and that's what I'll go with the Broncos. I'm not a big fan of the kicker for the Titans, Joey Sly. I'm not running with that guy at all, so I would have wanted to give maybe a 13 prediction, but you know what? I'll give the rookie another touchdown. Why not?
Rossi, nobody believes in your Titans, but I'm sure that you do. They are playing the Broncos. I agree with what Dalton said. Like, I feel like the Broncos are, to me, like they're not a dark horse team because they made the playoffs last year, but they are the team outside of the big 3 that I think could actually make the Super Bowl in the AFC. So I'm kind of on board with this take that he's got. So I think that you're playing a very formidable foe to start the season out. Not ideal. Great defense for a rookie quarterback. Cam Ward's going to have his work cut out for him. But the bright side is that if he plays well and looks good, that can give you a lot of confidence going forward that you may have found your guy. So how do you see this one going down? What's your score prediction? Do the Titans get it done, or do they fall to 0-1?
Well, I appreciate you trying to make me feel better about it. I mean, Bo Nix he could be potentially a really good quarterback. Like he played really well last season. Cortland Sutton played especially well towards the end of the season, and the Broncos have a Titan killer in Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram always seems to just torch the Titans for whatever reason. Now he's in a Broncos uniform. And, they actually there's a running back I really like that the Broncos picked up in the draft, RJ Harvey. I think he could be a good running back. Their defense, obviously, they got a good defense. Their offensive line is actually one of the best in the league. They got a really good defense, too. So, this is all not boding well for Cam Ward's first appearance. I'm going to say, I think the Titans defense will play tougher than a lot of people think. I'm going to say 24-14. The Broncos take this one.
Cam Ward's going to have his work cut out for him, but I'm excited to see how he plays. I really am. I think this is an opportunity for him right out the gates to give y'all confidence. And I think on the flip side, Rossi, even if he doesn't play well, it's like, okay, rookie quarterback, arguably the best defense in the NFL. What are you going to do? So I think that either way, you guys can leave feeling okay. But if he plays well, you certainly are going to feel great about it for sure. Colts at the Dolphins, sir. Who do you have winning this game? Why and what is the score?
It's not at Dolphins. It's at Indy. Just making sure.
Excuse me, at Indy. My bad. You're right.
Yeah, just making sure we're clear on that.
Nope, you're right. I wrote down at Indy, and I just got a little ahead of my skis. All right,
that's okay.
I did my
best.
Okay.
We forgive you, man. Just don't do it again. So this one's kind of funny because we have two teams here that are on the edge of implosion. If either of these teams disappoint, they're probably getting rid of everybody, right? Including maybe even the quarterback. But man, this one is tough because the Jaguars played the Dolphins week 1 last year. And I just remember previewing that one and being like, this is the worst time to play the Dolphins because the Dolphins rely on having so much speed. And generally, as the season goes on, they tend to get more and more injured, right? Just naturally, the Dolphins start off good and end kind of bad. This one really could go either way. I'll give the home field advantage to the Colts. I'll say the Colts win this one. We'll go 21-18. I'll give that the score. I'll give the nod to the Colts. There's no Anthony. There's no Daniel Jones tape out there to watch for the Colts. They have some pieces. Jonathan Taylor is getting at least 1 touchdown, so it should be a good game. But I think it'll be back and forth for sure.
Wow. I mean, you guys are pretty nice on this roundtable as far as picking. This is wow. All right, Harley. For the correction, it is in Indy. My bad, but they are playing the Dolphins. Who do you have winning this game? Why and what's the score?
I don't really like either team. I'm kind of there with Dalton, and it's really more about the quarterback play for the Colts. I think they have a solid team quarterback play. I mean, you got a guy named Daniel Jones. I don't know how much faith I'm going to put into any team that runs with him as quarterback. Confused with the decision overall, but facing the Dolphins. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa, Devon A-Chain. I don't know what's going on there with Mike McDaniels and the Dolphins either. I could feel like this is a low-scoring battle between two teams that are average to below average. We'll go against the grain. We'll pick the Dolphins. Why not? We'll have a little fun here. We'll go 17-16 Dolphins, getting the road win.
I absolutely love it. Finally, somebody going out on a limb and picking against a division foe that isn't the Titans. All right. Speaking of Titans, Rossi, also picking against his Titans. Real fan you are. No, I'm just joking. Who do you have in this one, Colts or the Dolphins?
I think the Colts, they should rely heavily on Jonathan Taylor. I'm curious to see what Daniel Jones looks like in the Colts uniform, how he plays, for them to prove to everybody why they chose him over Anthony Richardson. I see the Colts pulling this one out. I see them relying heavily on Jonathan Taylor. I see their defense stepping up. I will say the Colts 24-17.
24. Okay, so 2 of the 3 are picking the Colts to win. So Derek, what say you? Do the Colts get it done, or do TD's Dolphins come in and upset you?
I'll be damned if I let TD's Dolphins come into Indianapolis and start doing something about it. I will not hear the end of it if that were to happen. I'm just like everyone else. I really am interested to see how Daniel Jones does with this new offense and how he improves from what we've seen him last. And, again, everybody keeps talking about it. This is probably the most talented team that he has had since coming into the NFL. What does he do with it? I don't know, but I would like to think that overall the Indianapolis Colts have the better roster in a lot of areas that matter. Dalton said it earlier that, Miami has the speed. They have Achane, they have Tyreek Hill, they have Jalen Waddle. So, they have the speed in some of those skill position areas. But I do believe that Lou Anarumo will come up with a defense that is going to put pressure on Tua Tagovailoa to get rid of the ball quickly. And if you force him to get rid of the ball quickly, then that speed that they're trying to utilize and get past our guys back in the defensive backfield, they won't be able to do that as frequently. I remember, I think it was last year when the Colts faced Miami before. Sure, they didn't have Tua Tagovailoa in that game, but they basically made it impossible for them to throw the ball vertical. And that's what you need to do here to, keep things steady. And even with the Colts facing a Dolphins front four that is really good, I don't think they have much of a secondary. So if the offensive line can hold, then I do believe Daniel Jones will be able to take advantage of a few mismatches because their secondary is just shot. And basically, since we stole one of their former corners in Xavier Howard, and I think that we still will be able to run the football. We generally do when Jonathan Taylor's running against Miami. So overall, I do believe that we will win. I think that it'll be a low-scoring affair. I think it'll be 20-17 Colts.
20-17. So what is the one matchup you're the most confident in?
Most confident in, I would probably
Anthony
say
Richardson in the bench. Sorry.
I would say probably basically just mainly our wide receivers. I really do believe that they don't really have an answer. I mean, again, you got rid of Jalen Ramsey. Xavier Howard's no longer on that team. You've gotten rid of some of your safeties over the last few years. I mean, I really do believe that our weapons versus their corners is really going to make a big difference. I think Adonai Mitchell, Josh Downs will be open frequently. Tyler Warren open in the middle of the field. I really do believe that. And I think Michael Pittman, you can always rely on Michael Pittman to get a good workload. So I think that our weapons versus their secondary is going to have a good matchup.
Interesting. I like this. I like your offensive line versus their defensive line as well. I think you guys have a really good offensive line, and that's a way to control a game for sure. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm rooting for the Colts. TD's Dolphins can suck it. I hate
for
this
real.
team. So yeah, anyways, that's what we're going to go with. For me, this is the matchup, though. This is the matchup that I cannot wait to see. Rams at home versus the Texans. This is a hell of a matchup right out the gates. Two very good teams. Interesting matchup as well as far as ways that the Rams can test the Texans and vice versa. And I'm a 49er fan, so I need the Rams to lose. This would be great for that to happen. And I think the Texans certainly can be a team to do that. So, Derek, we're actually going to go right back to you, and we'll just kind of go in order here. Who do you have winning that game? Why? And what is the final score?
I keep going back and forth when it comes to this matchup because obviously it being home, it's a huge advantage to the Rams. And when you talk about the weaknesses of this offensive line for the Houston Texans, it's a big concern, and especially because the Rams always take pride in being able to get after the quarterback. But I do believe that based on the situation you're getting yourself into, the defense overall for the Houston Texans is just so overwhelming when it comes to a lot of quarterbacks. And because we had no idea if Matthew Stafford was even going to play in this game, now all of a sudden we're finding out that he is. I mean, no shot he's 100% healthy yet. And if you're the Texans and you got some dogs on that front four, if you can get pressure on him and you can rough him up a little bit, even a hobble Matthew Stafford is still a good quarterback, but he will likely be hobbled by the end of this game. And I think it's going to impact the timing and how they work that offense. So this will be a really good game, but I'm going to give the Texans the win here. I am going 24-23 Houston.
Oh, I like this. Rossi, who are you picking in this one? Texans or Rams?
This probably could be a pretty tough matchup. I mean, it being in LA, but honestly, I think I like. I don't know, man. I like the Texans in this one. I do. I think CJ Stroud is going to come out and have a good season. I mean, I know you could. A lot of people say he had a sophomore slump, this and that, but I mean, the guy got sacked a million times. So hopefully they can protect him better this season. But I think he is going to have a better season. I think they're going to start out hotter than they did last season. I'm going to pick the Texans in this game, say 27-24. I think it's going to be close, though.
Man, you guys are just way too kind. Dalton, Texans at the Rams. The Rams are a good team now. One of you has got to pick them. Come on.
Yeah, that guy's going to be me. This is a big
I
test
knew
for the Texans' new offensive line. This is a great test, right? Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, amongst really good role players on that defensive line. I mean, we're going to get a real test of, did the Texans do enough to really address this offensive line? Because I think the Texans are a good team, but I don't know. I was very perplexed this offseason why they didn't invest more in that, but they just didn't. So we'll see if the game will plays off. I mean, I know, new offensive coordinator Nick Caley, Popovich is offensive line coach, so maybe with just some new schematics, they can improve on that end. But I think that this is going to be probably a lower scoring game than we imagine. I think the Rams will win 17-14.
Okay, I like it. I mean, it is two very good defenses. That much we know. So, Harley, the question is who do you agree with on the panel? We've got Texans at the Rams. Great matchup in week 1. Two very, very good, stingy, get after the quarterback style defenses. Two very good quarterbacks. I mean, this is a solid matchup. Who do you have winning this game? Why? And what's the score prediction, brother?
Who do I have? I have the Houston Texans, of course. And if I cut out, I cut out. Oh, well. But the Houston Texans, I'm going to give them the W here, man. It's going to be a big game. They need to come out and have themselves a big game. This is a big game kind of feel for them. They're going up against the LA Rams. I'm very curious to see D'Amico Ryans versus Sean McVay and everything that goes with it. But ultimately, the defense for the Texans, we keep talking about both of these defenses and how good they are. The Texans defense will not be good this year. It will be absolutely great. It will be one of the best defenses in football. You talk about stingy. The Texans will be the stingiest defense in football. The Rams defense does not compare to my Texans defense. That's how I'm talking this game. The Houston Texans should win this game. I'm going to be pretty confident with it. Look, offensively, I have my concerns, and similar to Dalton, I have my worries when it came to the offensive line specifically and how they attacked it compared to a team like the Chicago Bears and how they attacked their O-line. But ultimately, I am treading cautiously optimistic with the whole configuration of the Texans O-line, and I'm going to roll with the Texans here. I'm still going to go 24, but I'm only giving the Rams 13. I mean, Matthew Stafford, he just had an epidural. Apparently, the man is pregnant. I don't care if he's got a belly on him. If he don't got a belly on him, that old man is going to be running all day from Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, and the rest of the defensive line swarming the quarterback per usual. Can't wait.
Oh, I love it, man. I love the confidence. 13 points from the Rams at home would be a major disappointment for a team that added Devontae Adams to that receiving core for sure. But I'm definitely here for it as a 49er fan. Go Texans. Go Texans. You do. You got Stingley.
We got Derek Stingley and Kamari last year. I got an answer for them too.
I love it. I love the confidence.